Hey everybody, Douglas Blair Roberts here, the Super Vader 400, and of course the brown skin human coming back at you with another movie series review intro. My previous movie series review intro, whenever I uploaded to YouTube, for some odd reason, the newest, the Crush 40 upload of Sonic What I'm Made Of, their uploaded version for some odd reason has a copyright on it, and whenever I see, and the copyright is actually not a problem according to YouTube, but if I ever want to set this account up for monetization, it will be a problem. So I'm going to do a remade version using two non-copyrighted songs. Even though this is an intro for movie reviews and rants, the What I'm Made Of will from now on this channel will only be the outro, and I'll use one of the old school non-copyrighted uploads of Sonic What I'm Made Of. The intros will feature the Sonic Heroes theme, which I haven't used in a long time, and of course the iconic We Can that I use a lot now. Everywhere on every other platform, the intros, I will use the old intro. So with that being said, let's get started right now. Hey everybody, it's time for my late out of date off camera part 2 off camera webcam review of the Justice League Dark duology. yeah, this film right here, this is the Justice League, yeah, the Justice League Dark Duology, Part 1. This is Justice League 2017. To see the narration version, click the link in the description box below. This is also the first in a series of, like I said in the previous one, this is the first in a series of Justice League Dark reviews. This time I only wanted to review and watch the actual Justice League Dark films. Next I'm going to review them with the rest of the Justice League in DC animated movie anthology, because these two films, they were part of a gigantic animated universe that started in 2013 and concluded in 2020. This is the first one. Before I get started, history. Huge fan of the Justice League Dark. I've been a huge fan of the key characters who formed the Justice League Dark in, I think, what was it, 2011, and then finally in 2014 when I discovered the team. Yeah, I was a fan of the key characters. That was Deadman, Constantine, Spectre, Swamp Thing, Zatanna, and Zatanna, Phantom Stranger, their version of Frankenstein, and the woman, the female humanoid, alien-looking mistress who serves Dr. Constantine. I can't remember. I'm John Constantine. I can't remember her name. Oh yeah, my boy Etrigan the Demon. Can't forget about him. Etrigan, quote-unquote demon. I've been a huge fan of these characters individually for a long time. You know how awesome it was finally in 2011. Then for me, 2014, when I discovered the series, when they all came together for one gigantic quote-unquote comic book for a darker anti-hero version of the quote-unquote Justice League. And that's what the Justice League Dark is. It's an even darker anti magical fantasy, dark fantasy version of the quote-unquote Justice League. Not that the original Justice League hasn't been dark, but this is even darker, especially when it comes to the characters and their actions and quote-unquote powers and appearances and stuff. So yeah, I've been a huge fan of Justice League Dark. I've been following the Justice League Dark live action film, which has been in developmental hell for some time now. They put it on hold because they didn't want people to confuse them with the actual Justice League, so they put them on hold. The Justice League Dark, in my opinion, that's the team. I love the Suicide Squad movies, but especially the first one, that's the Justice League Dark team, the team you should have called to deal with the Enchantress, not Deadshot and Captain Boomerang and Harley Quinn and the rest of those people. Yeah, well, anyway, the Justice League Dark. For years I've waited for a Justice League Dark film, and finally in 2017 I would get my wish. I saw the film and it was nothing short of awesome. I chose never to review it because as much as I love the film, I felt just one simple review wouldn't do it justice, and also I barely understood what was going on. One thing I love about this film, they managed to get so much complexity and lore and strong writing in just a short 70 minute plus film. 70 minute plus movie, and I consider this movie, along with its sequel and the Injustice 2021, to be the top 3 best DC animated movies and the best DC animated 3 of the best DC animated DC projects of all time. Not just the DC projects of all time in the franchise, not just animated movies, but yeah, right here. And this film, despite being shorter than the sequel, in my opinion, this film was better structured than the so-called quote unquote sequel. The film, the main cast of characters in this film is John Constantine, the lead character, his love interest Zatanna, My boy Deadman finally gets his chance to shine. He's been a guest starring and supporting character in various other animated projects. Finally, he has a starring role. He has a starring role here, and he plays the Peter Parker, Wade Wilson, Deadpool, Quip King, Quip character, always lighting the mood up with a quick joke here or two. Then, of course, the Swamp Thing. He doesn't associate with either of the Justice League Dark or the other Justice League. Some of the other Justice League members appear here too, but he plays a quote-unquote big role, being part of the Justice League Dark film. He's featured here in a cool neutral role, and of course Batman, who fits in with both the Justice League Dark and the quote-unquote Justice League. Here is here once again with a major main and supporting quote-unquote role. And he makes an awesome team with Constantine, Zatanna, Deadman, and quote-unquote Deadman, and of course Jason Blood and Trigon the Demon also has a main character role in this film. That's your entire team right there. Also in this film, I mentioned the Justice League. John Stewart replacing Hal Jordan as the Green Lantern. Finally happy he got a small part here too. John Stewart, the Afro-American Green Lantern. Who's next? John Constantine? No. Who's next? Oh yeah, Superman and Wonder Woman also have big roles here too. Everyone was here. The only person, in my opinion, was missing was Spectre. Was quote-unquote Spectre. I can see why they wouldn't include a Frankenstein, a Fan Stranger, and maybe a Dr. Fate. Those characters are too obscure, and Frankenstein is part of Frankenstein is an adaptation of another, is from another universe. He's not from another universe, but Frankenstein, he's an adaptation of someone else's work put into place in the DC, and I think he's also in Marvel too, so that's why Frankenstein, quote-unquote, isn't in this movie. But yeah, the story, the action, the animation, and the voice acting. I don't recognize any of the voice actors, but each was quote-unquote phenomenal. Each was phenomenal, and it's just like it's an upgraded, superior adult version of the DC animated films, because there's lots of swearing. There's lots of swearing. The film is also creepy. With the beginning, the middle, and the end being the most quote-unquote creepy. The film starts off with Batman. The film starts off with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman stopping innocent people from killing other innocent people who are affected by a spell that causes them to see their loved ones and friends and other humans as quote-unquote monsters. A black magic quote-unquote spell. This leads to a woman wanting to kill her baby because she sees her baby as a demon when it's an obvious spell, and as such Batman saves the baby, but the woman commits suicide. Back in Metropolis, a man tries to kill his wife and kids because he sees them as demons. And Wonder Woman. Oh, and in the beginning, an arrogant businesswoman is riding a car, and barking orders on the phone, bragging and barking orders on the phone. And she runs into someone. When she gets out, she sees the people who ran into her car as demons, and presses woman to take care of the demons. But Wonder Woman claims she only sees one demon. She only sees one demon. Back in Constantine's plot, which this is how the film actually starts. Constantine's part, he's playing card games with a group of demons. The demons are obviously cheating. The demons are obviously cheating. obviously cheating. So Constantine, he also cheats. And as such, the demons prepare to kill him. Constantine, in order to save his butt, he convinces an unwilling blood. Actually, he tricks an unwilling blood and forces him to bring forth Etrigan the demon. Etrigan the demon lays waste to the quote-unquote demons, but they're still alive. They're still quote-unquote alive. They're still quote-unquote alive, though. And then Jason Blood slaps Constantine because Etrigan could have went on a hunting spree, and Blood for thousands of years tried to hold him back. Tried to quote-unquote hold him back, with Jason Blood and Etrigan's demon story left intact. Then
it used to be a thing. We're wasting time.
Then Deadman in Batman's story, while Batman is shaving, Deadman writes upon his wall, and Batman, even though he can't see Deadman, knows something is up. So Deadman convinces him. Deadman pretty much sets up a meeting with Batman, Zatanna, and quote-unquote Constantine, where Constantly comically not wanting to play messenger between Deadman and Batman, comically produces a magic spell where Batman can see quote-unquote Deadman, where Batman can see Deadman, and as such, this new Justice League Dark film is quote-unquote formed after a comical exchange between Constantine and Zatanna and Batman and quote-unquote Batman, who agrees to the team and says, I accept the terms. Now he's dead and I accept the terms. Now are you two willing to cooperate, or are you going to need a timeout? So they both agree to be on this quote-unquote team. Then next, John Constantine. So then they go visit their old friend Richie's place, who, according to the backstory of Richie, on their way to the quote-unquote place, we get Boston Brand's Deadman's origin, his new 52 origin, left intact. So the people who wrote this movie and wrote and directed and animated this movie, they knew what they were doing. Next was John Constantine again. Next was them visiting their old friend, Constantine's old friend Richie's place. Richie's quote-unquote place. Richie tells them, who's dying of cancer, because on some kind of quest, John Constantine won and did something which only added to his rep. Whereas Richie got some magical cancer. And doesn't have much time left, as the demons, as the Grim Reaper souls are there. The Grim Reaper demon souls are there to take his quote-unquote soul. So he sends them on a magical goose chase. The first is a hospital where then one of the second scariest moments, they get the group gets attacked by a giant. The group gets attacked by a giant literal feces monster. Someone does some magic to bring out some feces in the witchcraft. This is the scariest moment in the film. The Justice League, of course, narrowly survived this, but then Richie frames Felix Faust. And says Felix Faust is behind the dark magic. So they all go to Felix. So they first try to recruit Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing is uninterested because he thinks that the human race. He blames the human race for all the pollution and damage to the green, to the earth. Pretty much the green, what he calls it. What he quote-unquote calls it. So they instead bring Etrigan the demon, and together they all take the fight to Felix Faust. And after a gigantic battle where Zatanna nearly loses control and kills Faust, Constantine figure out that Faust is not behind the dark magic, and that the person behind the dark magic Batman eventually figures out that Richie, who was appeared to be dying earlier, wasn't dying, and Richie is revealed to be still be alive via a special moonstone, a special moon stone, which puts his cancer in remissions. And this moonstone, and in exchange for getting this moonstone, the being Destiny put his quote unquote cancer in remissions. However, Destiny, quote unquote, the super villain and demon known as Destiny possesses Richie, quote unquote Richie. It's up to the Justice League Dark to stop him and the Justice League, who he's affected and turned into his slaves with the dark magic, with the Justice League, seeing each of the Justice League, seeing Batman and Justice League Dark members as, what's his name? Batman and Zatanna narrowly defeat the Justice League, with Batman defeating John Stewart, Zatanna, I think, defeating Wonder Woman and saving Batman from a brutal Mortal Kombat punch from Superman. And quote unquote, together Constantine, Etrigan the Demon, and the Swamp Thing all fight Destiny. Swamp Thing and Etrigan individually fail. However, Deadman with distractions from Constantine possesses Destiny long enough to grab the special stone, and for Etrigan the Demon to put a quote unquote to put a sword through Destiny, impale him with a sword. Thus, quote unquote, Destiny is defeated, and Batman destroys with a bat boomerang, destroys the Moonstone, thus killing Destiny. Killing Destiny and sending him back to hell and turning Richie back to normal. However, the souls are there to collect Richie's soul for all of his sins. And in the third scariest moment in the film, in the regular Justice League, they would have put Richie in Arkham Asylum or in a prison cell for his crimes. Here, as an exchange for Destiny not coming back, they allow these demons to drag poor Richie's soul to quote unquote hell. One of the scariest endings I've ever seen in a quote unquote movie. And at the end, Deadman goes to Ramatush, I think that's her name, with John Constantine's servant, who also got killed earlier, with Richie teaching her to walk through quote unquote fire, convincing her to walk through fire, and that's how she quote unquote dies. Then next, John Constantine. At the end, Zatanna, under recommendation from Batman, recruits John Constantine to the Justice League, setting up the events of the quote-unquote next movie. And Jason Blood dies from a wound he obtained the day he was bound to Etrigan the Demon, and Etrigan the Demon, with rhymes reads out his quote-unquote eulogy. So that's the end of quote-unquote. So that's the end of Justice League quote-unquote Dark. One of the greatest films ever. In my opinion, the DC animated universe in this film, this blows both the Marvel and DC live-action cinematic and extended universes out of water, out of quote-unquote water. DC is at its best when it comes to animation. Like I said, I've been focusing so much on live action, I've been sleeping on these animated projects. Well, this was Justice League Dark Apocalypse is next. Hey everybody, now it's time for my review of Justice League Dark Apocalypse. There'll be no footage in the background because Justice League Dark Apocalypse has way too much copyrighted, orchestrated music to put in to play in the background. But let me tell you, man, I may try it in the future, in the next one with the rest of the Justice League films. But yeah, this film right here, Justice League Apocalypse, Justice League Dark Apocalypse. Justice League Dark Apocalypse is quote unquote, in my opinion, is the biggest and most baddest and darkest superhero movie I've ever quote unquote seen. This was the culmination of 7 years worth of DC animated films that started with Flashpoint in 2000 quote unquote 13. This was the culmination. This was the Avengers Endgame, and this was the Avengers Endgame 2. This was the Avengers Endgame, this was the Avengers Endgame to Marvel, to the Marvel, this was their Endgame to Marvel's Avengers Endgame and Infinity War before it. In my opinion, despite being a 90-minute animated movie versus two large 2-hour big budget superhero comic book films, this short animated film, 90-minute animated film, was bigger and badder and darker than quote unquote both of them. Of course, it's based upon Darkseid's what storylines was this based upon? Hold on. This was based upon Darkseid War by Geoff Johns, and Final Crisis by Grant Morrison, and elements of Eternals I'm in. Yeah, this was a super awesome film. Despite how awesome this film was not without its flaws. And the first problem I had with this film was, and I had to rewatch it several more times, including the review and rant, and read the synopsises off of Wikipedia to somehow understand what's going on, and I still barely understand what's going on. The film was, despite having 20 more minutes more than the previous Justice League Dark film, this film took even longer. This film story structure was even more rushed. A lot of the deaths were too quick and anticlimactic. And things just kept happening too fast. In the first several minutes, they're talking about is super serious. The entire Justice League Dark, and the Legion of Doom, Lex Luthor's Legion of Doom, they're talking about an upcoming invasion from quote unquote Darkseid. 18 minutes into the film, Darkseid has already won, and they're now in a dystopian future. Quote unquote future where only Constantine, Clark Kent, a depowered Clark Kent, Raven, Robin's Damian Wayne's Robin, and Damian Wayne's Robin, and Damian Wayne's Robin, Lois Lane, Luthor, and the Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn, King Shark, and the Australian guy of the Suicide Squad, quote unquote, and Swamp Thing, who is neutral, are the only heroic characters. Are the only quote unquote heroic. And Etrigan the Demon are the only heroic characters still around. This is one of my all-time favorite cliche storylines where the quote unquote bad guy does win, and a small group of remaining heroes will quote unquote set everything right again. That's another reason I love this storyline despite its flaws. It is one of my all-time favorite storylines in various forms of media. And that's what this was. Darkseid, when he took over, his parademons knew their every move. He killed most of the Justice League. and took characters like Batman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, and Starfire as his slaves. When it came to Superman, instead of killing Superman, he engraved a kryptonite symbol on his chest that depowered Superman, making him weak, making him so weak he can be punched by someone like Constantine, regular Constantine, without even charging up a magic beam or something. Magic quote unquote magic being. And the Constantine oh yeah, Clark Kent and Raven find Constantine together. They round up the quote unquote survivors. They round up the quote unquote survivors to infiltrate and take the fight and defeat Darkseid once and for all. They catch up with Damian Wayne, who is now a protege of Ra's al Ghul. Damian Wayne, Ra's al Ghul. They also quote unquote they also catch up with Lois Lane, who Lois Lane is teamed up with the Suicide Squad to get intel on quote unquote Darkseid, intel on Darkseid. They round up Etrigan the demon. They round up Etrigan, quote unquote, the demon, and a huge battle ensues between the Suicide Squad, the cybernetic Wonder Woman, Starfire, Martian Manhunter, the various parademons, Darkseid's various parademons, which results in the deaths of the Green Lanterns, both Hal and John, Nightwing, Dick Grayson's Nightwing, Shazam, and of course, during this battle, Etrigan the Demon fights and dies. So finally, both halves are now killed. Etrigan the Demon is killed by a hypnotized and cybernetic Wonder Woman. He's stabbed through the chest and kicked into a fire, where he spits out one last rhyme about having no quote unquote regrets about dying because he got to perish in battle. Then the Swamp Thing, Constantine finally convinces the Swamp Thing to defend the Earth by saying that first is always Swamp Thing, because the human race posed the greatest threat to the Earth, the Green. He refuses to intervene, but then Constantine calls him on double standards, saying, "Oh, if the Earth is destroyed, that means the Green is too, because the Earth, just like the Green, was minding its own business. Then a big bad alien threat came to threaten his existence. So then this is where Swamp Thing convinces himself to fight the Green. This is where Constantine convinces the Swamp Thing to fight the Thing, and Swamp Thing tries to destroy Darkseid's giant ship, but in the process gets overwhelmed and blown up. The Suicide Squad, the quote-unquote Suicide Squad, most of the Suicide Squad, Lex Luthor of the Suicide Squad, I think he gets captured and killed, quote-unquote, too. Now, my favorite and best scene is one of their strategies. One of Constantine's strategies is to release Trigon, Raven's father, who Raven has been trying to keep back throughout the entire film by not losing control. Finally, Constantine releases him in hopes of killing or possessing quote unquote Darkseid. Instead, he does something better. He possesses Superman. In this one moment, I was about to quote unquote cheer at Trigon the Demon, because he was about to fight Darkseid. But no, those two were going to fight to see who rules. So he possesses Superman. Superman has his, I like to call it, his Street Fighter Dark Dark Hado, Sagatsu no Hado, and Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan moment. Mostly the Street Fighter, where he has an evil, he is an evil power that he has an evil demonic power that he conquers and makes his own and becomes the regular Superman again and squeezes Trigon out of his body, and Darkseid imprisons him in a small ball, and Superman engages in the most brutal fight with Darkseid. While Cyborg, Batman, and the rest work together to come up with a portal to send Darkseid and his parademons back to Apocalypse, back to quote unquote Apocalypse, Apocalypse. John Constantine's final plan is to unleash Trigon, Trigon convinces Superman to step down as Darkseid, as Trigon will fight Darkseid to see who will rule and who will serve. They engage in an ultimate battle, which while these two are fighting, this gives Cyborg the chance he needs to transport everyone back to Earth, and transport Darkseid and Trigon to the Apocalypse. And Trigon insanely and laughingly, maniacally takes Darkseid with him, with Darkseid yelling, "You're insane!" takes him back to the world of quote unquote Apocalypse. And the film ends with Flash doing another speed run, another Flashpoint thing, where he will run extremely fast and create another universe. And that's how this film ends. There's a short trailer featuring a short mini-series featuring Constantine. Constantine is going to deal with the aftermath of this movie right here. But yeah, this was an awesome conclusion to the DC animated film universe that started in 2013, 2000 quote unquote 13. This was a gigantic epic battle. Only problem was a lot of people got killed off too fast and anti-climatically, quote unquote climatically. And once again, even though this was Justice League Dark, Deadman, Spectre, Phantom Stranger, Dr. Fate, none of those characters weren't even seen in this film. It was mostly, the only remnants of what you call was Constantine, his servant, who she got killed in this film. His servant, Etrigan the Demon, and the Swamp Thing. That's the only form of Justice League Dark references. Always Zatanna herself are the only Justice League Dark references you got here. You got in this quote unquote movie right here. So this and the previous one, alongside Injustice 2021, are in my opinion the best of the DC animated films. They have the best storylines, the best animation, the best action, and the best everything. So with that being said, you don't want to hear the rest of the music, turn the video off right now.